Hello? Lisa's number? I can't hear you. Hello?
Hi, can
I cannot hear you. And you're on speakerphone as well. Huh?
you hear me now?
I can sort of. Are you you work for Lisa?
Yes, that's right.
Oh, blessings. My name is Tanya Miller. What's your name?
My name is Pierce.
Pierce. Nice to meet you, Pierce. So I would like to give you a piercing concept. I'm going to make bad puns for you. So, all right. So what I wanted to say to you is that I have been in Delaware and I moved back from Delaware as of this summer in June. And I've been here this whole time. I have had multiple crimes that have happened to me on this address and also in subsequent hotels and Airbnbs that I have stayed in after I had to move after a crime. I didn't move. I still am renting that address and maintaining that address and paying bills at that address and am on the gas bill and am covering other expenses and pay rent. The problem is that somebody broke into my home, and not only did they break into my home, they broke into the home at other subsequent times and have surveyed the property and made my roommate actually start sleeping in the living room instead of her bedroom. And because of the break-ins, and put in security cameras, which I know get hacked because I've had my cameras hacked at my sister's house before that we put in, and we purchased for our brother. And we have a lot of different security issues that have compounded over years that I am addressing here, and I have fears that have real concerns. So the problem is, my background is I had in 2023 in Maryland had hundreds of thousands of dollars stolen in foreign currency, which were done by probably some agency and somebody trying to probably knock me off because I, in fact, had been living in a Hyatt Homes in New Jersey, and I had reached past 3 months, which meant I was a permanent resident of that apartment. The problem is nobody wants me to have a permanent residence, and so I sort of live in my car and live in a hotel and on and off live in my car and apartment. And the other place I'd been living, they actually put in a whole nudity conference just to kick me out for a couple of days, so I wouldn't have been a permanent residence for 3 months. And this whole thing happens to me, and it is bad because if I try to live somewhere, they try to get me, which is why I stayed at my friend's house in a suite that then had a pump that they may or may not have made break. And that's the forsaken part, because now I have a plumbing issue at the house that the door to the basement is through my suite, and shit and crap is in it, which is why I'm also not exactly in the Airbnb, but also am. Hold on a minute. And the reason I'm calling is I had rented an Airbnb that was over the ocean view in Lewis, and I was using it for a production company called Vest Productions, which just was a small thing that I decided to do, where I was able to take a book, a coloring book, and turn it into a video of how to turn the book into a little video. And I made a movie, a small movie that was supposed to go up on a YouTube site. And in fact, somebody took down my pictures and they took down my end version. The problem is I have film production things that I had already done and produced, and they had stolen my videos and my production stuff out of they stole my production treatments for my film treatments and my television treatments and my patents and my concepts for my patents and my concept artwork and my own things. And they stole all my best last versions of everything. And they leave me some snippets, and they stole years and years of my patents and my information for all of the writing, and not just my patents, but also my copyright and trademark material have been stolen out of my emails. I have years stolen out, and then when I say stuff, they'll put stuff back. And I took a picture of it and tried to send it to the FBI, because I do have an email for the FBI, which I finally got at my second time going to the FBI in Madison, Wisconsin. when I was driving through and never lived in Madison, Wisconsin, except for the time that I spent in a hotel next door to the FBI location. The problem is my last taxes, I have said I live nowhere because I have spent so much time all over the place because people have tried to kill me and stolen all my stuff and I did not know what to say. I still have a Massachusetts driver's license, which is S11004015. I, in fact, have tried to change my driver's license to this location because I needed a star to try to fly and to do stuff because I was trying to, do the right thing. And somebody stole my mail out of my house. And somebody then stole my mail that I had at the production location because they knew I was going to go and try to fix it again because I had to go back to the house to get the mail again. And I run out of getting mail because I only get credit card mail and I only get the bills for like the heating thing. So somebody steals my bills. So somebody stole my book, video, and they stole my book finished artwork, photographs, and I have a Amazon account. You should be recording me. If you're not, is a tragedy. I also have an Amazon account called Tanya Miller, where I have published 2 books called I See the Farm and Counting Pet Rocks with Blessings. And I'm the author and photographer on the one book, and I'm the author on the second book, and the artist is Chi Miller, which is my mother, in both books. Those 2 books are on Kindle and are published. Now, those have been out for several years. They are upset because I can make books and looks very quickly, and they do not want me to have the money, and they don't want me to prove concept of me being able to finish a project. They try to say that I can't finish anything, and they say that I cannot have anything. I have been voice to Godded, scolded. I don't know what the hell they do. There's other ways of trying to communicate with people, like using the phone, and they have done wrong by me. I have asked for a FOIA by the FBI. Of course, nobody gets back to you except for voice to God technology. And unfortunately, you have multiple parts of the military who do not talk to each other. And that is the smart thing for you to understand, is that everybody does not agree. Somebody has tried to stop them from killing me because I was being microwaved and radiated before Christmas. And in fact, another man that I have dealt with in business, who is ex-CIA contractor and never really ex anything because they'd never leave you alone. Also Navy SEAL from SEAL Team 6 and other SEAL teams, worked with me extensively on a situation involving my brother who works for NASIX, who's now Space Force, who may or may not have dealt with things in space that are way beyond your understanding, that are maybe really terrible, and I'm not 100% sure what has really happened because everything is so under the covers. The problem is my brother has an undercover wife who is his handler to some degree, and there are tears because she is actually a witch who is undercover in a church and has done things that have not been great, but I'm not really trying to do anything about her. But I had researched her, and people tried to get me for doing that. That's the problem. Nobody wants to anybody to know the truth. While I was at the location in Lewis, I have my assistant who is witnessing this call, and we are also recording it, by the way. Leanne, can you please give the address where we were staying for my production, for Vest Productions, for the book that got stolen? Which I guess we probably do need to call the police and report. But the problem is it's a digital theft. The book part is a digital theft because it was a video that was done on my phone. So it's not just digital, it was on my phone. And then it was digitally stolen. So I don't know where that stands. And that's the point. I don't know how to fix my problems. Every single thing I do gets stolen, and somebody does not want me to have a Delaware address. In 2019, I paid for a $38,000 condo for the whole year to live there. And at that point, I had an assassin show up and stalk me, which I identified. And they also did other things to me, which I'm not going to get into, that are extensive and documented. The problem is, every time I've tried to live in Delaware Delaware, they come after me, and they just tried to change my words in my head to call it the wrong name, because in fact they have tried to reprogram my brain. And my brother has a son who's excessively smart, who they have been probably doing research on, and probably have also programmed his brain and done things to him without people's understanding, because that is what they can do. I know that the teenagers that lived in the house that I was living with they were not exactly programming them because they were children, but they were resending back their negative thoughts over and over to them, because one of the girls hears very well. That's the problem. People have then there was a kid who stayed over the night, and he actually is a distant relative of mine on the Clemens side, because I am a Clemens, which I am related to Mark Twain. And anyway, that kid is a distant relative of mine, and he had similar DNA, and it may or may not have affected him when they sent the radioactive transmitters and the other things that they did to my head. I have multiple people who have treated me for radiation and the microwaving and whatever variations of that I don't know how to explain. And they send out negative frequencies, and they can track you through multiple means, because I also know this because I have used equipment where you put in your biometrics and they can track you according to different things that are very high tech, which I have used to help keep me alive as well. That's the whole thing. There's a spell on people to not understand what is going on in this country, and they have been trying to take me out because I had purchased currency and because I lived in and out of cars, because they've kept me from keeping a permanent address. I am now telling you that I have paid for the address, I own the address, and I cannot get, I probably,
I'll go ahead and take down what you said to me, pass it along to a
no, I need somebody to contact me. I need somebody to contact me, and through my assistant. Leanne, can you please give your phone number? My phone number is 612-867-1104. That's 612-867-1104, but my phone is hacked. So you need to call my assistant. Go ahead, Leanne.
It's 202-455-8485.
Can you tell me that number again for him? Because I'm going to have him repeat it.
It's 202-455-8485.
Can you repeat that number to me, sir?
Another call. You have a good day, ma'am.
Ma'am, I know that you're responsible for this. This is your job. That was Pierce, who had another phone call and was not interested in doing anything or forwarding any kind of information, and they do not seem to be recording or doing anything at all, which is not correct. And this is the world we live in, and this is not the address that I have been living in. This is a residence that I have been renting temporarily, but it does count for living in Delaware, because all of it does add up. And that's the thing. Living and being a resident in Delaware does not necessarily mean anything, because I am not living here. I am staying here because of a poop situation that happened in my apartment, which is not dealt with properly. And because I have a compromised immune system from all the radiation and things that they have been doing to me, and I cannot live in that address permanently all the time, because that location has already a lot of animals and everything, and after them radiating me, I'm not able to stay at that address permanently. I am declaring that it is my residency, and I have spent more time here and gone back and forth to get mail, and then have people steal my mail is not cool. And it's clear that somebody does not want me to be able to be a resident of this country, because maybe this is the point. Maybe they don't want me to live in this country anymore, but Delaware has different reasons that people should live here and not live here, because they apparently want to come after you if you want to live in Delaware. And I already have, yes, a corporation that I originally set up in Delaware, and I'm not clear about exactly everything that we can say about all those situations that we have here today.